Hello, 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 stamping friends. How's everybody doing today? I hope y'all can hear me today. If you are watching, you are in with me live. Take a moment and let me know if you can hear me. Just give me a like, a share, a thumbs up. Let me know what's going on. I hope that you can hear me. I am excited about tonight's technique, and we're going to be doing a little bit of color blocking. You guys, I am Caron Bailey. I am your independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I'm also also known as the ATX Stampin' Lady, and I have been a Stampin' Up demonstrator for over 9 years, and I'm excited to share crafting with you. So come on into my craft room as I share with you the color blocking technique. Tonight I'm going to try to get through maybe 3 or 4 of the different ways that you can do color blocking, from the very basic to the very simple and somewhere in between. So with that, let's get started. As always, you guys, I do a host code. Here's my July host code. What is my host code? So if you see any of the products that I'm utilizing tonight that you enjoy, you like, please feel free to shop in my online store at www.sweetsignatures.stampinup.net. When you use the host code, you get entered into a drawing for every $50, for every $50 in product that you purchase. Oh, I forgot to turn my put my phone on do not disturb. Give me 1 second here. So for you get a free gift with a $50 or more purchase on my website. And when you place an order, any order on my site, you get entered into a drawing at the end of the month to win a prize based on all of everyone that has shopped on my website. All right, so I'm excited to get started because I want to get through several different techniques. I'm going to get started really quickly. Please make sure to ask me any questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer. I'm going to be using, I'm going to be focusing on 3 different colors as far as colors are concerned. Now, if you are a stamper and you like to swap, what we call swap cards, please consider joining my Facebook card swap group. We're called Sweet Signatures Stamping, Sweet Signatures, oh my God, Sweet Signatures Stamping Card Swap Group. That's what we're called. And this month, the month of July, our color combination is Coastal Cabana, Pretty Peacock, with a touch of copper clay. So I'm going to be working mainly in these color combinations tonight, just so that I can be consistent with what I'm working with. One of our other swaps is also to do the color blocking technique, so I decided I'm just going to play with that technique and see what we come up with tonight. All right, so besides our colors, I'm also going to stay in the color family as far as paper is concerned. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with that, but here we go. This is our Pretty Peacock. This is our Coastal Cabana. And of course, this is our copper clay. So again, we are being very consistent with our colors, our color combinations here. Okay, let me see what this is. We'll use that. All right, so I've got here set aside, I went ahead with a 1-inch square punch, and I've punched out. So our first technique is going to be very simple. All of our cards, let me just share that with you. All of our card projects tonight, you guys, are going to focus on, I'm going to be pretty much be the same things, okay? So you're going to need, this is for my masking, you're going to need a piece of cardstock, basic white, very vanilla, basic beige, whatever color you're going to use as your neutral. And this is going to be 3 3/4 inches, okay? Did that just make that worse? Let me put this on maybe at a lower light. Okay, let's keep it there. Okay, I'm also going to mat this on a piece of basic white. That's also, this is 4 by 5 1/4, and our card base is going to be a standard A2 card base that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Okay, so the first card we're going to work with is we're going to go from simple and then move from there, okay? Now, my projects tonight is, again, when I do techniques, I focus mainly on the technique, not necessarily so much actually creating the card. So I have punched out about 3 to 4 pieces of each of the main colors that I'm going to work with, okay? Now, and I'm not doing this, this is just layout right now, so in order to color blocking in its simplest form, and this is what we're going to work on. Now, these are just very basic ideas that I have in my mind. So we're going to see if they're going to work. And I'm just going to lay them out just to see how they're going to work for us. Okay, that's one. And then we can do that all the way down. Oh, wait. Okay, and maybe we switch up the sides on the next one. Like that. Then we put this here. And then we switch things up again. And this is what we'll end up with. So I kind of like that as far as a very basic color blocking idea. So let's go ahead and put this into fruition. Okay. Liquid glue is my preferred adhesive of choice. I generally have challenges with keeping things lined up and straight, so I tend to make sure I use liquid glue. It just affords me a little bit more, just a little bit more time to put things in place. All right, I've got that. And then it doesn't matter which one we start, we're just going to alternate our colors, okay? So this will be our first color blocking technique. Now you can do this with a hexagon punch. I believe we have a hexagon punch. One, two, yeah, a hexagon punch. So you can do it with that as well. Okay. What do you guys think about this color combination? I go through some of the Stampin' Up! Colors, and I like to kind of just play with them a little bit. I try not to do usual colors because I like to see the differences. And I tell you, sometimes I come up with some pretty weird combinations. Or at least people think they're weird, right? Until they put them together and then they're like, oh, I would never have done that. Well, that's the thing about color. Gotta play with it a little bit. Okay? And then we're gonna alternate these colors. Okay? Okay? Now the other thing that I'm probably gonna do with we're going to probably keep it as simple as possible just so we can get through several of the techniques. But I'm going to share some tips with you in terms of how you can step it up, make it a wow or a now card um, with just some simple ideas, okay? Oops. Make sure they stay where they need to stay. Okay. Oops. Well, that didn't work out so well for me. And make sure that's right up against that. And we're going to put this guy right here. And I'm just shy one piece of Pretty Peacock. But I'm going to go find a piece because I definitely want to use that. No, that is not Pretty Peacock. Okay. Forgot to bring out my silicone mat here. Hey, somebody's joined me. Let me know who you are, where you're watching me from. Okay. And I am going to need a piece of Pretty Peacock. Just one more. Let me see if I can find, I have scraps everywhere and I can never find the color, the scrap color that I need when I need it. All right, give me 1 second. Let me pop away and find me some Lost Lagoon. Or Pretty Peacock. Ah, did not have to step very far. So again, we're working on a color blocking technique. Just going to punch out one more piece of Pretty Peacock. Just like that. Let that sit for a minute. And then see if we need to add any more adhesive. And we do. All right. So this is our first color blocked piece. And then we're going to grab some snips. I'm going to snip off our excess. Do the same on the other side. Okay. Now, so from here, what we can do is a couple of things, okay? Because we're going to keep this as simple as possible. I may not do any of that, but I'm just going to give you some extra or some tips on things that you can do. Okay? So first things, you can leave it just like this. Put it on the put it on the 4 by 5 1/4, mat it just like so. And you get to decide, do you want it portrait orientation, I'm sorry, horizontal landscape, or if you want to keep it in portrait lens format. Okay, so that's the first thing you'll have to decide. Okay, so what would I do here? I would have to, my first thought would be, now that it's like this, is I'm going to go ahead and run it through an embossing machine. Put a little bit more texture on here. But before I do that, I would want to make sure that if I was going to stamp my sentiment right on here, I would stamp a sentiment. Well, let's just do that. I'm going to use, breaking out my thoughtful wishes today for you guys. Okay. I have not used this set at all. So hopefully I've already put the labels on them, the stickers, right? Which I did. And this one just says dearest friend. Nothing wrong with that. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to put this right here. Make sure I pick it up. Okay. Go on in. Don't forget, when you join into the group, go ahead and say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Then we're going to just stamp our sentiment on here. I'm going to bring this maybe out of frame a little bit. Okay. Okay. Get a little embossing going. So I have to make sure that I stay away from the powder so I don't accidentally, go ahead and melt all of my embossing powder. So, okay. Now the perfect thing about the color blocking technique, you guys, is you can use it primarily if you want to you have some scraps that you want to get rid of. Well, not get rid of, but you want to use up some scraps. You have them laying around. You got a 1-inch punch. You can do it with, like I said, um, the, oh my gosh, what is this thing called? I think it's the hexagon punch, right? No, it's the 6 side, so that's the sexagon. I think that's what it's called, right? You can do it with any shape in which you can nest your shapes. Okay. All right. So from here, what I would do with this is, I'm just gonna mat this just for simplicity's sake. Make this a very simple card, but it's hurting my heart to do that. You can do it like that. I really want to run this through an embossing machine. I really do. But again, I'm here to show you the technique. So this is one way to color block. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna. I left my lid off a little bit too long. There we go. So this is just one method of color blocking. Okay. Now there's some other things I'm going to share with you that I am going to do with this, but I want to mat it. I want to put it on the card base first. I like to make sure that they dry. I'm sorry, that the adhesive is permanently sealed and everything is matted. And then I'm going to share with you another way to use this up for to make this a more interesting card. Not that it's not interesting, but just more interesting. I like to double and triple burnish my folds. It just makes it stay a little bit flatter, okay? See? After 3 times, this does not do that little lift thing that it was doing. All right, so here we have this. And now we're going to mount this with dimensionals on the card base. My foam sheets. All right. How was everybody's day today? I'm excited for 4th of July. Yeah. I'm probably going to do a little bit of barbecue and a little bit of grilling here. I probably am going to well, I know I'm spending most of my day in the craft room, that's for sure. All right, and then we're going to mount this right here, making sure that we have somewhat even borders all the way around, top, bottom, left and right, and finish our card. Now, here's what I'm going to do to make this interesting, okay? Not sure where I got these little stars from, but I'm going to use them. Ha, ha, ha. Okay? Now, here's where the beauty of a Take Your Pick tool is going to come in handy. I'm going to pour some of that out. And these are little stars. Oh, these, I think I got those from Close to My Heart. And I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive right there. And make sure I mount this right here. Okay. And I'm going to do that all the way. Anybody watching anything interesting on TV? I just started watching, I think they call them K-dramas. Now, it's a lot of subtitles, but I really am enjoying them. Okay. And so this is one method for color blocking. And this is just using cardstock. You can use the cardstock as well. I'm going to share with you, if we have time, another method just for using using cardstock for color blocking. Okay. Oops. Love my Take Your Pick tool. Get these lined up where I want them. I know. Once I had the idea, I was like, let's just get her done. I'm using the adhesive tip, the tacky end, to pick it up. And then I'm using the pointed edge to make sure I get it in place to where I want it. Now our Take Your Pick tool has different attachments. We have like a little spatula attachment that you can use. I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, put that in place. One more right here. So what do you guys normally grill or do for 4th of July? And I think one more. Okay. All right, guys, and there's our first card with the color blocking technique. Okay. Oops. All right, here's card number 1, color blocking technique. Okay. All right, let me just clear this away, and then I will get ready to show you the second technique. Okay. Probably going to have to go in with my little vacuum there and pick those stars up. All right, let's do that. Get that out of the way. And card number 1 is done. All right, technique number 2, we need a block. So let's grab a block. I'm going to use a smaller block for this one. No, I'm just going to use this one. Again, we're going to start with a piece that's 3 3/4 by 5. Okay. And all I'm going to do now I didn't plan this very well. So let's grab our Coastal Cabana. So we're going to start with that. Just going to make sure we lay down some color right on the block. Okay. Pretty Peacock is the next one. And I want that in the middle. So what I'm going to grab is my Stampin' Up marker. Now I'm just going to scribble some color right on the block. Okay. Then I'm going to grab my last color, which is my copper clay. Okay. Grab my little Stampin' Mist with water. Make sure I got water in here. Yep. And let's move this out of the way. And we're going to spritz our block. So you see the color that's already laid down on here? So I'm just going to spritz it with water. Okay? And I'm just going to turn this, oops, well, and smoosh that right in there. Okay? And we're creating backgrounds now, right? Oops. I'm going to do it again. Copper clay. I'm going to start, I should start with my lightest color, right? And the reason we start with our lightest color so that we don't contaminate it with the darker colors. Okay? Run our pretty peacock. Grab our mister again. Okay. And then now we can continue the color. And there we go. I'm not pretty happy with that. I don't really like it, but that's a technique. That is one way of doing it. You can use this as a background, a die cut. I'm going to try again. But what I think I'm going to do this time, so this is going to be the orientation. I'm just going to do a single one. Okay. Let me clean this block off. Okay. All right. Now the idea has solidified in my brain. I know exactly what it is I want to do. Okay. Start with my lightest color. Grab my pretty peacock. And I'm using my Stampin' Right marker. And the only reason I'm using the Stampin' Right marker is because this is going to be in the middle. Okay. And if I was using two colors, I would probably just use the ink pad. But I wanted the copper clay to be very true when I used it. Okay. And then lastly, there we go. All right, still going to use the same process. Mist it with some water. Okay. And I'm going to kind of swirl this around just a little bit. So I can have some of the colors running everywhere. And then all I'm going to do, make sure this is where I want this to be. Towards the top. And there we go. Okay. Let that sit for a second. There we've got our color block. You can set it off to dry, or you can pull out your heat tool and dry it in a little bit of a quicker time frame. Okay. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, which one? We're going to grab Thoughtful Journey again. Thoughtful Wishes, sorry. Make sure this is dry. And I'm going to grab one of these main images on a block. Now I'm afraid of getting ink transfer everywhere. All right, so here's what we do next is we can, where's this guy? And then we're going to grab a sentiment. No, I don't like those. Sorry guys, I should have probably picked my sentiments a little bit earlier. Okay, let's go with this one, I think. I'm going in this winterly treetops. This is a set that only demonstrators who participated in Creativity Now have this set yet. This is going to be a new item in the mini catalog that is going to be released soon. All right. So this one just says thinking of you. And we're just going to put this right on here. Now again, I am not going really fancy. I'm just doing very basic cards, not completely stepped up. You can step it up if you want to when you try these techniques at home on your own. But for tonight, all I am doing is just stamping the basic card and showing you the color blocking technique, okay? All right. Now, I would probably, when I'm stamping this, I would probably either punch it out, put it on a die cut, make it separate. I would do more than one layer is what I'm saying, okay, with this particular card. Now I'm just going to heat emboss. Okay. All right. And so here we have our card front from second technique using our color blocking technique. Okay. Let me just clean this up just a little bit and then we'll get started and put this card together. Now, again, to step this up, you can also heat emboss. Grab an embossing folder of your choice. Run this whole panel through the embossing folder. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of shimmer mist. I need my little box here. So this is just one of my paper pumpkin boxes. I tend to use it like for a mister if I'm going to spray shimmer mist. Oh, this isn't, yeah. Right? And so I'm just going to put this in here, grab my mist. Okay. Run the heat tool on low setting over it to dry it. You guys can see the shimmer on this thing already. It's amazing. All right. Let me see if I can pick this up for you. Can you see some? Oh, can you see the glitz and shimmer right here? Okay, so that's that. Okay, so now we're gonna bring in the piece of 4 by 5 1/4. We're gonna mount this on that. Wait, this was supposed to be 3 3/4 by 5. What happened here? Give me a second. Oops. 3 3/4 by 5. Okay. Let's make sure we're not cutting off anything important here. All right. Now, generally what I would do is once this panel has gone through so much, I would put it under a like a book, a heavy book or something, so that it can flatten out just a little bit more. But in the interest of time, I'm just going to put this right on here on our mount this on our 4 by 5 1/4 panel. I'm going to do that with this layer is going to be matted onto that with some adhesive foam sheets. It all gets used, you guys. All of it. I will break it down. I will use it in another project, all of that. It all gets used. Okay? So again, before we mat this, some of the other things that we could do, even though we put the shiny spray on there, you could go ahead and run it through an embossing machine. You could do that. Make sure that it adheres properly. Okay. Should have a nice 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Okay. Then we're going to grab our card base. Make sure our edges are aligned on both sides. I flip it open. Boom. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and we will mount this, and our second card will be done. Now, some other things that I could do with this, and I may do still, I'm not sure, because I want to keep them as simple as possible. Well, I know shimmer spray does not keep anything simple, right? But I gotta have bling, so that's how I account for bling in this process tonight. All right, so we put this guy on here. Okay. Okay, so what can we do to step this up a notch, right? Put a little linen thread right here, little bow, linen thread bow. That's stepped it up. Add a couple of gems. and that'll just pop this card just a little bit more. So card number 1, we went very basic and we used just some cardstock. We did number 2, we did a little bit of a watercolor wash. I think that's what we call that, using the block, and we have that. And then the third technique that we're going to do, we're going to do a little bit of masking tonight, you guys. Yeah. Let's grab this. I'm going to grab a silicone mat. Let's try this Stampin' Stencil mat. Let's see how this guy works for us. So we're going to put this right here. Okay. Now that's not going to move. But I still want a mat though, because okay. So let me grab some blending brushes. And you remember earlier I had these two triangle pieces? Well, we're going to need these. Okay, so we're just going to kind of layer out how we're going to block this. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. And the beauty of this is that it's not going to move. Yep. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start with my Coastal Cabana. Let me make sure this is clean. Right. And there is no right or wrong in how we do this, okay? It's just your preference. Okay? All right. Then I'm going to grab a brush for my Lost Lagoon. I'm sorry, our Pretty Peacock, because that's the color we're working with tonight. Okay. I'm going to turn this. Now remember, when we're blending, it's always easier to start with a lighter hand with the coloring, because you can always add more color. You cannot take away color. Okay, that's enough. Then we're going to do a copper clay bit. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay. All right. Let's lift our mask pieces. This is where we're going to play on building a block, you guys. Whoops. Let's just move that. So this is a very tacky mat. In case you didn't realize that, this is a very tacky mat. I love it though because the card's not moving anywhere. Okay, so we can do this. Right. Then we can do the same thing. And there is no rhyme or reason. It's how you choose to lay this out. There is no right, there is no wrong. There just is. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of Pretty Peacock in our blend. Oops, it moved a little bit. Make sure. So we're blocking within a block. Okay? Okay. And then what we're gonna do, kind of the same thing. I'm enjoying this ink blending and masking. So again, I'm sharing with you 3 different ways that and there are many more. I'm just sharing with you 3 different ways that you can use a color blocking technique. Okay. And then we're going to add our Pretty Peacock. Okay. Look at this background that we are creating. Is this not incredible? Now, see, tip number 1 that I should have shared with you, and I didn't realize it wasn't flush, is when you're putting your mask on, make sure that your mask, you don't want to be over the line. You want to make sure you're just inside whatever line you've already created. That way you have like a seamless line like we did here, okay? All right, so we're going to do this one more time to finish this blocked panel out. And so here's what we're going to do. We have to make sure that we have this part blocked. And we're going to do that. Make sure it's like this. All right. Then we're going to do this and make sure this is just a little bit shy, like so. And then I'm going to change the order. I'm going to start with my darkest and then work out to the lightest. Oops. What did we not do? We didn't block here, so we've got to be very careful with that line. Matter of fact, where's my masking tape? Hold on, I got masking tape. Let's grab some mint tape here. And we're going to put this guy right here. Because we just don't want it to get in there. Okay. Then we're going to go in with our next darkest, which would be Pretty Peacock again. All right. And then our Coastal Cabana. Okay. Guys, and here we have created, I'm going to put some of the Coastal Cabana just to fill this in right in here. Okay. And here's our third color blocked design. There we go. Look at that. Is this not the cutest thing? And this is an amazing color combination. You guys really should try it. You really should try it. It is an amazing color combination. All right, let me put this back on here. And then I'll clean this in a little bit. All right, so now what can we do with this? We can do the same thing. But I kind of want to keep this very simple. I like it just the way it is. So, hold on. All right. I like to heat emboss, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Wait a minute now. What am I going to do with this? I haven't thought this out. I haven't thought this last one through yet. So what do we want to do with this color blocked panel? I don't even want to do anything with it. I think it's gorgeous the way it is. I don't want to mess with it. All right, so what, but we have to do something with it. Um, hmm. Okay, I think I got it. I think. Let's grab a sentiment. Uh-huh. I need birthday cards, so let me find a birthday sentiment. Nope, not that. Sorry guys, when you have an idea or something in your head, you just got to chase that idea. So I'm trying to chase an idea here. Give me just a minute. Oh, look at that. That would have been so cool. I'm looking, I have this idea of a sentiment and I'm trying to find it. Ugh. That's not it. I think this might work. I think. Okay. So we can do our happy birthday this way, understanding that that's going to get cut off, or we can do it this way. And it's perfect there. Mm-mm. Put it like that too. Put it here. That might work. And then have that little one trail off. The idea is not coming completely to my brain here. All right, but I think I have the idea, so let me just kind of flesh this out just a little bit more, okay? All right. So if we put this in here, it's not going to fit in here. Not the way I want it to. But we can do that. But I don't want that. Oh, well, duh. Let's put it in this corner. Let's do that. Maybe. Let's hope it picks it up, okay? Whew. Wing and a prayer here. Wing and a prayer. All right. Let's hope this works. Mm-mm. Okay, let's try it again. Much better. But I want to make sure, so I'm going to make sure I stamp it a couple more times. Okay. All right, so from here, that should be what we need. Okay. Oh man, I just made a mess. That's all right. We're going to finish this off, but it shifted a little bit. And I should have made sure that it was back in the corner. I did not make sure it was back in the corner. So hopefully it'll look like a shadowed effect. I don't think so though, but you'll see. Oh man, and I love this too. Oh. It might work. I'm hoping it works. Y'all hope with me. But if it doesn't, I know exactly what I'm about to do with it, all right? Sure. All right, so I'm going to have to sit on this one a little bit. I think it looks like it's shadowed, but I got to sleep on it and look at it in the morning. So this one is kind of finished. I have to figure out something that I would do here. I'm not quite sure yet what I want to do with that. Ooh, I think I have an idea. I think I have an idea. Let me grab just an idea. I'm going to try to use the remnants of everything that's in these brushes. So I'm going to clean the brush as well as get the color down. Okay. And then I'm going to clean that off. This is just something I'm thinking of, so hopefully it works with what it is I want to do, what's in my brain. Because sometimes what's in your brain doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come to fruition, right? Okay. Oh yeah, that's in there. just started reading for, we have I'm trying to promote myself to Silver Elite in the Stampin' Up world. And we're in part of this accountability group that we meet every other week. And one of the assignments, I guess for lack of a better word, is to read Atomic Habits. Now, I started reading this book for Stampin' Up, but I'm starting it, and I'm like, have any of you read it? Atomic Habits? Well, I'm seeing many different ways that I can incorporate that stuff incorporate it into my own life. So, I don't know. Something about it touched some nerves it touched some nerves, and so I've got to go work those out. So I'm going to continue reading, and I'll share some things with you once I'm through reading it, okay? All right. So my thought was to utilize this, and I'm going to try to attempt to fussy cut this. And I think I just started reading it, but one of the biggest thing that I just took away from what I've read so far is that, if you want to change a habit, it's like that 1%, I find that, we're trying to achieve like an everything all at once kind of deal. And based upon what I've read thus far, which isn't much, it says, a 1% change. If you strive to do a 1% change every day, that should lead you to success. Because if you change that habit, and it's changing the habit and the systems, that's what can lead to actually changing whatever that bad habit is, which can lead to success or deter success. Did I just make sense? I know it's in my head somehow, and it makes sense to me. But, if you want to break the habit, like myself, I don't like organize my craft room at the end of the night. So if I want to do that, then I need to, instead of saying, oh my gosh, how come I don't have a 100% clean craft room every day, strive for every night doing that I'm in my craft room for that 1% change. What would I do different that can lead me to having a cleaner craft room every night, or every night that I'm in it? So strive to change 1% of something that will get me there. I'm like, okay. And I do realize that, especially because when I look at things, right, one of the things that I do is, when you look at the craft rooms, some of them, it can be a little bit overwhelming to get them pleased, because we do have a lot of stuff, right? But one thing is to set I heard this a long time ago, and I try to implement it. You set your timer for about an hour every day. I set my timer twice, right? The first time is to make sure that I stop at a certain time, right? And that's important for me because, like, when I'm finished here tonight, if I don't set my clock, I'm just going to get up because I'm finished and I'm tired and I'm going to leave, right? what will I do? That'll leave me with a messy craft room. So if I'm doing general stamping, if I set my timer, say, okay, set it down, you're done at 5 o'clock, then I set my time at 4:45. And in that 4:45 period of time, that makes me put things away, things that I have on my desk that I've used before I walk out the door. And then I have my timer set for an hour when I'm wanting to come in and just do a general clean. And I do it in hour increments. So I'll set it for an hour, clean it for an hour, whatever happens, set a goal to get done. I want to clean my desk, I want to clean the area that I shoot videos in, whatever it is, and set the timer for an hour. And I have an hour to get it done. But can you see that if I strive to make sure that every night, if I leave at a certain time, I say every night like I'm in my craft room every night, y'all. I'm not in my craft room every night. I wish I was. All right. And this is just some basic white cardstock that I used. And I used the remnants that was in the blending brushes to to soften the basic white cardstock just a little bit. But it also gives it a different color, right? And then I'm just going to put that here. That's all I'm going to do with this card, y'all. Let me make sure that this is 4 by 5 1/4, because this was one of my 4 by 5 1/4 panel where it should have been 3 3/4 by 5. Yeah, I was afraid of that. So we're going to take some off of this side, make this 3 3/4 on that side. And make it 5 on this side. Okay. So now we have a panel that's 3 3/4 by 5. Y'all, I know I cut like 6 panels today that was 3 3/4 by 5, and somehow ended up using the panels I did not cut to 3 3/4 by 5. Go make that make sense. Okay. All right. So then I'm just gonna add this guy right here. Really, what I'm trying to do is cover that little puppy up. All right. Oh, that's how I'm going to do that, right like that. Yep, 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 yep. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Now remember I told you that I do utilize, well, let's use these. So we did 3 methods of color blocking today. And I'm going to show you those cards again. And just as a reminder, if there's any products that you see that I used tonight that you would like to have, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would appreciate it if you would shop in my online store. And if you do shop in my online store, don't forget to utilize the host code. Utilizing that host code gets you into that drawing for the month to receive a gift from me. And every order placed in $50 or more gets you into that drawing, and it gets you an automatic free gift. Okay? And again, thank you for watching tonight. I know you have your choice of demonstrator, crafter, projects, TV shows, what have you to watch. And the fact that you are popping in to see what I'm doing in my craft room, I am very appreciative of your time and of your attention. If you would like to see more of what I do, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on that notification bell to make sure that you are notified every time that I go live. Okay? Well, here is the 3 3/4 by 5. Here the rest of them are. Okay, here's a 4. I tell ya. Alrighty. I think this will work beautifully on this. Oh yeah. Put that off to the side. And I'm going to layer and layer. Don't forget to decorate your envelopes as well. And you can use the same techniques that you used on this one. Grab that mask, set the mask up, and recreate the same thing that you just did on the card, on the envelope, to continue the design. Look at that. I love this. I love this panel, you guys. I think this panel is amazing. All right. So of the 3 cards that we did this tonight, do you have a favorite? Oh, I'm going to bring them all back in so you get a chance to see them all. Then I got to put all my stuff away. That is my goal tonight. Perfect. And I kept them all white on white tonight just for simplicity's sake, you guys. You can feel free to change your backgrounds any way you want. Your matte layers, your card base, you can make them all different colors. But I chose for simplicity tonight in demonstrating just the technique to do a white matte layer. And what am I looking for here? Because I'm looking for something. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Need a bigger piece. Mm-hmm. So I went layer on layer, okay? I will pay the extra postage to mail this card to someone. I love it so much. Like this. Okay. Make sure, I did that the other day on a card that I made. I just went to town and I put the inside on the wrong side, and oh my goodness, it was a mess. But it was my mess. Okay. And then just to make sure we have a little bit of consistency. All right. Where did those things go? I'm looking for my little stars. Although they don't make sense because they're silver, right? But I know I have gems. Hold on. These are flowers, adhesive backed trinkets. I think these were, let's see, what numbers are these? These are 1-5. So these are retired. But of course, I'm going to use them anyway. Mm. Sometimes you just have to figure out where to put those things, right? All right, you guys, so let's get these out of the way so I can bring in all 3 cards for you tonight. All right. So the first card we did tonight, and this is what I call my simple. This was just 1-inch squares, punched out in the colors of Coastal Cabana, Pretty Peacock, and Copper Clay. And we just laid them out in a pattern, okay, a diamond shaped pattern. Our second, where we did a watercolor wash, did a little heat embossing, spritzed with some sparkle shimmer spray, and then our last card that we did for the evening, showing you some color blocking techniques. There's so many other techniques, but I've spent an hour and 30 minutes with you guys, and there you go. You guys, thanks for joining me this evening. And again, if you want to utilize any of the products, purchase any of the products that I use tonight, don't forget to shop on my website, www.sweetsignatures.stampinup.net, and use that host code, you guys, if you place an order of $149 or less. Again, that gets you a free gift with $50 purchase, and it also gets you into a drawing where at the end of the month to receive a gift or a prize from me just for shopping if you win that drawing. Thank you guys for joining me. Happy stamping. See you tomorrow in my Facebook group where we wing it on Wednesday.